Okay, guys, I think we'll get started. Thanks to everybody for coming along. As I said, it is being recorded and it'll be available on the IADT Library YouTube channel and also on Orchard. So my name is Jane Bugle and I'm the Institute Librarian, and I'm going to talk about the benefits of open access publishing for researchers and specifically how they can help IADT researchers. So in this talk, I'm going to explain what open access is and why it matters for your research. I'm going to talk you through the read and publish or transformative agreements that we have with Cambridge University Press, Oxford University Press, Taylor and Francis, Sage and Wiley, and talk about how these could be important for you. I'm going to highlight Diamond OA and how this might be the best choice for your outputs. And I'm going to promote submission to Green OA, that is to the Illustro institutional repository here. And also I'm going to outline some practical steps, workflows, and the library support that we can offer. So what is open access? So scholarly outputs made freely available online to read and reuse, usually under an open license. And when we're talking about open licenses, we're talking about Creative Commons licenses, where the author retains copyright. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And this contrasts with subscription or paywall journals that limit access to those who can pay and read as well. And note that OA can apply to both fully OA journals and also to hybrid journals that are subscription journals that are offering some OA options. So why would you choose to publish OA? It's really important to increase the visibility, the downloads and citations for your research. Articles are open by default, so they're available to a much greater readership, and therefore the impact can be greater. It's compliant with funder and national OA policies. So in Ireland, the Irish government have stated that they have a target of 100% open access to government-funded research by 2030. So this is really important. And this is why the government is funding the transformative agreements. Publicly funded research becomes publicly accessible and supports equity in knowledge access, which is really important. And it supports global collaboration, especially with researchers and practitioners in under-resourced institutions. And to me, that is a global good. So what are the OA routes available? So Gold OA is immediate open access on publisher sites, usually through the payment of an article processing charge. And just to say that article processing charges can be really high, like the lowest ones are in the high hundreds, and the highest ones, I think, to submit an article for publication in Nature is going to cost up to $19,000. So we're talking big money here, and money that IADT doesn't have to pay for article processing charges. Hybrid OA is their subscription journals that offer an OA option per article, and that is APC based as well. And Green OA is archiving in the institutional repository, so that is, in our case, Illustro. Diamond OA is open access journals and platforms with no article processing charges. So the charges in general are covered by institutions, by scholarly societies, or by consortia. And in fact, there's a new Diamond OA platform, national platform being launched shortly. So transformative agreements, they're also called read and publish agreements. They're nationally negotiated contracts that combine a read element, which is institutional access to the publisher's journal portfolios, and also a publish aspect where OA publishing rights for corresponding authors without individual article processing charges. So the corresponding author is the lead author. So it really means the corresponding author is the person who corresponds, the publisher deals with. So it means that the publisher needs to be from, the corresponding author needs to be from our institution. And the goal is to transform subscription spending into open access publishing, making open access the default for research. And in Ireland, many such agreements are negotiated via IRL. And IRL is the Irish Research Electronic Library, which is the National e-Resource Consortium. So why would transformative agreements or read and publish agreements matter to you? So there's no APC invoices when the agreement covers your article. And there's less administrative burden, no grant code, no APC request per article. And it often includes both hybrid and fully OA titles. So that increases your choice of journals that you can publish in. And the national and institutional investment in these deals is intended to normalize open access and to remove paywalls. We're away from it, but we're moving in the right direction. So key features to watch out for. Eligible institutions and author roles. You have to be the corresponding author and you have to be affiliated with a participating institution. You want to look at the journal coverage, hybrid versus fully OA, and you need to keep an eye on excluded publisher titles. So, you might accidentally fall into an APC there. Article types, usually they look for original research and review articles only. So they're more limited. And they have caps or quotas. So there's only a certain amount of articles that they'll publish under these agreements per year. So there is an allocation. And the agreement periods are typically 3 years, but they do have fixed term. So I'm going to run through each of our 5 agreements and just point out the kind of salient elements to them. Cambridge University Press, our agreement via IRL provides access to the current content from Cambridge University Press subscription journals, unlimited or uncapped OA publishing for corresponding authors in almost all hybrid and fully OA CUP journals. There are some small exclusions, so you need to just keep an eye on that. Eligible article types typically include research articles, brief reports, reviews, and similar formats. And authors can read, plus they can publish OA without paying article processing charges. On each of these, I've put a link to IRL and the agreement terms. Oxford University Press, then, the agreement enables access to full OUP journals collection at participating Irish institutions, that's ourselves, and OA publishing in Oxford University Press is fully OA and hybrid journals without paying an APC for eligible authors, corresponding authors. And OUP is a particularly good one for us because they're moving towards making all of their content open access, but with transformative agreements. Sage Read and Publish is a little bit more limited. It enables OA publishing in Sage hybrid journals for eligible corresponding authors, but it charges just slightly reduced APC costs for publishing in some of their fully OA journals. So again, you need to keep an eye on that. Our agreement is due to expire at the end of this year, but IRL will try to renegotiate again after that. Taylor and Francis, it gives staff and students read access to Taylor and Francis journals and OA publishing support under an OA agreement for corresponding authors. The coverage and specific terms, journal lists, the caps, the article types are detailed on their page and also on the IRL page. And Wiley, so we have read access to their hybrid and gold OA journals. Allows corresponding authors to publish OA and participating hybrid and fully OA titles, and most APCs are covered centrally under the agreements. There is a small number of journals that are excluded, and there are caps and quotas. So I'm going to put these, the slides will be made available, and that's a summary of our 5 agreements. So now I'm just going to talk a little bit about the workflow. So when you're submitting via a read and publish agreement, you have to use your institutional email, and obviously you choose IADT from the drop-down menu list. You need to identify yourself as the corresponding author, and the peer review process is is completed as normal. It doesn't change, the OA status doesn't change any editorial decisions or have any impact. It's just as normal there. But on acceptance, when they accept your article, you select the OA option, and the system checks eligibility under the agreement and sends it to the library here, and we approve it, and then it applies central funding. And then you choose an appropriate license, which is often CC BY according to the funder and the journal policy. So things to watch out for. Article caps. Some agreements have the quotas, as I mentioned, and after the quota is used, then it returns to the article processing charge. You need to be particularly aware of that if you're considering submitting to Elsevier. We are part of a national agreement, but the cap is very low. So yeah, they charge really big APCs. You need to keep an eye on journal exclusions. So certain kind of high impact flagship or society titles might not be covered. So be sure that you're submitting to one that is covered. Then the multi-institution collaborations, as I mentioned before, the funding follows the affiliated corresponding author. So make sure that you discuss this with your colleagues when you're making the submission. And you may be able to you can submit your preprint, which means that it's not the final copy that goes into the journal. Even if you're giving away your copyright, you can submit the preprint, but often there's embargoes, but it can still go into the institution repository. So I'm very passionate myself about Diamond Open Access. So why would you choose it as your destination venue? So it doesn't charge any APCs for authors. The costs are covered by institutions, societies, or public funding, and it makes OA accessible regardless of grant size. Often mission-driven journals and platforms, including many in the humanities and social sciences, aligning with equity and community-based publishing values. And it supports non-profit, scholar-led publishing models that keep control within the academic community rather than with commercial publishers. And just to say that there are some of the funders now are looking at they're not allowing the payment of APCs out of any fund that you get, any research funding that you get, that you need to be publishing in Diamond Open Access. So what are the benefits of Diamond Open Access for your research? It removes financial barriers that could limit early career or unfunded researchers from publishing OA. It can be a strong fit where funders encourage OA but do not explicitly cover APCs. So I just mentioned that on the last slide. It often allows more flexibility around formats. So data papers, methods, local or regional studies, bibliodiverse materials. So for example, Irish language material, things that mightn't be prioritized in commercial portfolios. And it contributes to a more diverse and sustainable OA ecosystem alongside transformative deals. And I would personally say that Diamond Open Access moves the dial forward in creating a more diverse and equitable and sustainable OA ecosystem. So choosing between the deals, between transformative deals in gold, diamond and green OA. So use the read published where your targeted journal is within the agreement and is recognised in your field. And also if you want an established publisher visibility with no personal APC cost. Choose Diamond when there's a reputable community-run OA journal in your area that's not covered by a deal but charges no APC, or you wish to support non-profit scholar-led publishing infrastructures. And always consider Green OA via the Illustro Institution repository as a baseline, regardless of where you publish. So evaluating journals, check the scope, the editorial board, the indexing, is it going to be easily discovered, and the peer review process. So peer review process is important. You know, do you want it to be double blind? Or do you want to have it, for example, open peer review process where each step of the process is published alongside the final article? Review the copyright and licensing terms, including the author rights and reuse. This is really important. I've come across it many times that somebody has submitted to an article to a journal and they've given away their copyright. So it's really important to know about this and to know about Creative Commons licenses. I have a link in there for that. So you may have received emails from journals inviting you to go onto editorial boards or to submit to them. Watch out for predatory or low quality venues. Some of these they're looking to make money, and they're not going to benefit you in terms of your own credibility that you're putting out there. Don't rely solely on OA or no APC as positive signals. There is a link there to a really good website on predatory journals. And always discuss the venue with your colleagues, with the research office, and come to us and talk to us in the library. We'll be happy to help. So, funder and policy alignment. Many funders and national policies require or strongly encourage immediate open access and prefer licenses that maximize reuse, so particularly Creative Commons licenses. The most open of these is CC BY, but whoever uses your research or builds on your research has always got to credit you. Transformative agreements and Diamond Open Access journals are practical tools to comply without extra cost to researchers. And some funders still allow embargoed green OA, so know the specific requirements for your projects. Let's get to the next one. We would always recommend that you contribute your scholarship to Illustro. That's the IADT Institution Repository. Heather Chalk is our digital systems librarian, and she's created a really good policy on the institution repository, and that's available on the IDT website. It's approved by the executive, the academic council, and the governing body. We publish dissertations of 2:1 and above, and our quality control is that we ask faculty to submit the dissertations to us. Illustro is a kind of showcase. It's a public showcase of IADT scholarship, so it's really important that we have it at a very high caliber. The Creative Commons license that we use is CC BY NC, which is non-commercial, and author retains copyright. We also we provide distinct URLs or else a DOI, a persistent identifier. The current collections that we have include work by staff. So we have books, book chapters, articles, case studies, conference presentations, and reports. We also have some co-creation projects, they're animation projects. We're developing historical collections, and we've started with the digitized Goth diaries, but we're looking to do more. And then we have sample portfolios. This is something that prospective students really wanted, and we have some sample portfolios in animation. So many of you probably know about the IADT Journal of Research and Creativity, IJRC. It's a library published, well, it will be, it hasn't published yet, but it's imminent. It's a Diamond OA journal. It's library published. It's going to publish on the new national Diamond Open Access publishing platform, Diamond Ireland Press, which is NOR funded. And I think it's a really exciting development, and it's going to be great to have our journal on there. It should launch within the next few weeks. We're using a CC BY license. So again, the author retains copyright. We're aiming to publish 2 issues a year. So we'll get this one out shortly, and then hopefully another one by the end of the year. So please do consider submitting. We accept a really wide variety of content. So from research articles to literature reviews to creative content, we're open to anything really, but obviously high standard anything. The unique selling point really of the journal is that it publishes undergraduate and peer reviewed student work alongside that of academics. It's all peer reviewed to standard. I think it's a really good thing that if a student submits a piece of work and it's peer reviewed and it's published, it's a really good thing. You don't know where it might lead them in the future. We're open to international and cross-institutional submissions as well. The journal will be fully preserved, but the articles will have DOIs, and permanent URLs, and also it will be indexed in the directory of open access journals. You have to have a year under your belt before you can apply for indexing in the DOAJ, but we will do that. We will get that, and we'll also down the line have the journal indexed in EBSCO and ProQuest databases. So there's a link there to the full details of the journal. So the library can support you in a number of ways. We can advise on eligibility for specific publisher agreements and check remaining quotas. We can help you identify reputable Diamond Open Access journals in your discipline. We can support you in depositing your work into the Illustrated Institutional Repository on rights retention statements and on license questions. We can also provide contact details for publishers and details of transformative agreements. We have a LibGuide, and we can advise on workflows. So that's really it. There's some contacts. I put the research office there at the end because they can certainly be of help as well. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be really happy to answer them. Yeah, Alan?
Hi, how are you? I'm just curious, Illustro, so if you have articles, do they go up there, or do you have to get it published before they go up there? Or what's the different options for publishing in different places?
So the option for publishing, so if you've published an article with and you've retained your copyright, so if you published it under a Creative Commons license, then you can put it wherever you want. So okay. You can put that in. If it's something that you published previously with Elsevier or one of the proprietary publishers, you might need their permission to put it in, or else you could put an earlier draft of it in.
Okay. Okay, just curious.
So you can ask Heather. Heather knows everything about Illustro and rights and everything, so you can contact her as well.
Okay, thanks.
Do we have any other questions? Ger?
Hey, Jane.
Hi.
Thanks for that. In terms of like, again, because we're all so busy and there's so many emails flying about, is there a sort of a submission structure for this new journal that I think we've spoken about it before? Is there kind of a formalized pathway to putting stuff in, like certain dates and milestones, or is it just that stuff trickles in and then you go when you go?
So it's like we are aiming to have another issue by the end of the year. So if you have something to submit it whenever you want. We'll accept rolling submissions, and we'll aim to get 2 issues out a year. Kevin Wallace is the editor-in-chief, and there's a bunch of people on this call are probably on the editorial board. If anybody's interested in joining that, like, please do let us know. But yeah, we don't have. There's a LibGuide on the library website, which gives some advice on submissions. And then as soon as the first issue goes up onto the national platform, then all the submission details will be listed in there as well.
Thank you.
And we'd love to get your piece.
Thank you.
So this was a very quick walkthrough. People can come back to us at any stage if you have questions. Okay, well, if there's no more questions, we'll leave it there. We will make the recording available, and if anybody has any questions, please do get in touch with us. So thank you very much for coming along.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jane.
Oh, you're welcome.